We are at Concord Music Hall with Eddie Jackson of Queensrÿche. Thanks for taking the time today.
Thanks for having me.
Really appreciate you sitting down with us. You guys are on tour now for Condition Hüman, the latest release from Queensrÿche and the second one with new singer Todd La Torre. How do you feel that this album is progressing in terms of the way that you all have gelled together as a band?
I think musically, we progressed a bit from the last album. Last album, we're very proud of, and we had a lot of fun recording that one, and this one as well. This time we ended up working with Chris Zeus Harris, who's produced the album. But I think musically, we kind of wanted to challenge ourselves a bit more on this one.
Now, it's not necessarily a concept album, but a lot of the songs relate to each other about the human condition.
Yeah, I mean, you can also look at it as sort of our last 2 years, of what we've experienced, whether on the road or personally. I mean, it kind of all coincides.
And each of you brings that to the table when you do collaborative writing. Your personal experiences come into play? Absolutely.
I mean, especially with the music. Lyrically, we get LT, who is pretty much responsible for most of the lyrics. And I've written some lyrics, and so has Michael. But yeah, I mean, musically, we all just kind of contribute to the pool of ideas and kind of go from there.
Now, you've been doing this for a long time, being the bass player in Queensrÿche for over 30 years. You've probably got your parts down pretty well, but as a musician, you're constantly striving for that personal evolution to always improve and to strive to be better. What do you do personally to try to improve your craft?
Just continue writing, really take the time into putting together a composition that you haven't done before. And that's the most challenging part. But like you said, we've been doing this for a while, and it's kind of like in part of your DNA. You know how to sort of work around certain compositions, and you can kind of pretty much know that, well, this kind of sounds like that one song we did 3 or 4 albums ago. So we kind of we're conscious about that. But a lot of it is spontaneous. I mean, and sometimes that's can be really challenging, but very creative as well.
From when you started, things have changed and evolved. One of the things we discussed with Todd last time we spoke with him was the cell phone phenomenon versus the cigarette lighter. What else are you seeing in the crowd when you look out that's changed over these years?
The natural gray highlights in everybody's hairs. I mean, these fans have grown up listening to this band, through our 30-plus years, and they're aging just like we are, but they're still there enjoying music, and that's pretty much what it's about. We've been doing this for quite a long time, but you kind of notice how, wow, I remember that fan from a couple years ago, or even from maybe 15 years ago, and there they are still singing our songs and having a great time. So, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't really generally think about it, but I guess I'm just trying to be a little bit clever here with an answer,
Well, in all fairness, I've earned all my gray hair, so that's a good thing. What is the one thing you guys have accomplished? So many things over the years. You've sold millions of records. You've toured around the world. You've seen corners of the earth that you probably never imagined. But what's the one thing right now, if you were going to go home and look in the mirror and say, you know what, I did blank, and I'm really impressed with myself?
This, something that I grew up wanting to be a part of, and that was, performing, recording, touring. So I think a lot of it is how fortunate we've been to continue doing this 30-plus years later. I mean, that's, it's a lot of work, but we still enjoy what we do. We have a strong passion for this, and just so happens to be 30-plus years later, and here we are in Chicago, and getting ready to throw down tonight, so.
Ideally, that's the plan, is that you have a band and that you can do this for the rest of your life. But what kind of advice would you give to somebody just starting out that maybe is just in their first year, whether it's an artist or a broadcaster, somebody who has to stay true to their vision? What would you tell them is one of the most important things that you learned along the way?
Passion. If it's something that you enjoy doing and you want to do, that's what it's about. I mean, sometimes some might take it as a hobby, some might just want to go up and play guitar or drums as a hobby. Some might just want to be a local, touring band. But if this is something you want to do, then you put a lot of time and effort into this, because it's a lot of hard work, but it can pay off, though.
Do you ever just shut off? Do you ever just relax? Do you ever kind of just turn off and say, okay, I'm not going to play Queensrÿche today?
Yeah, that's usually when I go to bed at night.
Every night?
Yeah, when I go to sleep at night, that's when I shut everything off. But no, I mean, it's around me. You know, I mean, it's part of my livelihood. You know, I mean, this is what I do. This is what I know, and Queensrÿche has been nothing but good to me. You know.
Absolutely. Well, they've been good to all of us for 30 years, so we appreciate the music. A couple more things, and I'll let you go. I know that you got a show this evening. You guys are doing the rest of this tour, and then you're going to go on the Monsters of Rock cruise. What else is ahead for Queensrÿche in 2016? I know you've got something coming up in Vegas in May.
We've been invited to perform with the Scorpions for the residency in Vegas, and we're there for a week. And then they're adding more shows throughout the rest of the year, and just enjoying our time here, trying to avoid this crazy snowstorm weather, but yeah, we've got a few things lined up for the year. So
yeah, unfortunately, I saw you had to cancel some stuff out east because of the crazy snow, and we were talking a little bit before we started rolling about members less than 100% in terms of health-wise. When do you? Sometimes people have to play hurt. You're not at your best every night. When do you decide, hey, you know what? We can't go tonight. We can't do this tonight. At what point do you make that decision?
Is when our singer can't sing. And I can perform with 102, 103, fever, but I can still perform my instrument. When it comes to a singer, that can be difficult, and it's a lot of work touring, I mean, it's not like you can come home every night, you're in a different city, and it's difficult to recover if you're feeling sick, because you're bouncing from one city to another. You don't really get the proper rest, but it is what it is, but you do our best.
We're going to let you get some rest now. Thank you so much for spending some time with us. Eddie Jackson of Queensrÿche. That's one take right here, folks.
Just a quick shout out to our Queensrÿche fans. Thanks for all the support. We're very grateful to have a group of fans such as yourselves, and hope to see you on tour soon. Rock.
Thanks, Eddie.